Craig Heppell's here. Hello, mate.
Hello, Lee Dixon.
What is news this week in the sphere of real estate?
The sphere. Not the manosphere, but the sphere of real estate.
Yeah.
Well, we had a little break over Easter, which I think we deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. Golf clap for that.
Didn't you miss me?
Mate, time's going so fast I forgot that even happened.
It's all just melding together.
Yeah.
But look, after that little break, we're back and ready to rumble. Now, what is going on?
What is
going on? A week is a long time in the news cycle. Worldwide national developments, and one of our biggest economic drivers, the property market. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I reckon I could spend the entirety of your shift, Lee, unpacking the speeches, actions, skullduggery and intended outcomes on about half a dozen different fronts, but we've got about 7 or 8 minutes, so I'll have to keep it tight.
Let's do that. Stay within the rules.
Now, let me share with you what's happening in the property market from the trenches. Now, this is real time, real behaviours, real responses.
I noticed that the government is speaking out about how to save fuel. They didn't say stop buying houses.
No, thankfully they haven't put a kibosh on that yet.
It's amazing that why hasn't everything gone electric? Why aren't they pushing more? They're more than happy to try and get as much petrol as they can here, but no one's saying bring the batteries, are they? That's funny, that, isn't it?
Oh, don't start me. Anyway, you've taken me off track.
There's our new T-shirt for the week.
Can you see my blood pressure rising?
There's our new T-shirt for the week. Bring the batteries.
Bring the batteries. Now, the reports from mainland real estate industry insiders are that Sydney and Melbourne are softening. Brisbane, Perth and Adelaide are fairly solid. Hobart's even Stevens, right? Now, high-profile Sydney auctioneer, I've talked about him before, Tom Panos, reported last weekend that he conducted 9 auctions. 2 sold under the hammer. Now, the entirety of clearance rates in the big city, Sydney, is around 55%. And Panos, and I agree with him, says anything under 60%, that's 6 out of 10 selling under the hammer, means the pendulum has swung towards buyers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what about locally?
Buyer confidence has softened. Now, if I put a rating on it, it's gone from a 9 out of 10 to maybe a 7 out of 10, especially in that 800,000 to over the 1 million price bracket. And we know those numbers now are fairly common, that 1 million plus bracket. Right. The budget range of 500 to about 650 is still seeing solid buyer activity, but at a reduced volume compared to, say, 4 to 6 weeks ago and beyond.
Okay.
Now, you don't have to be Einstein to realise the pendulum has swung from almost unbridled confidence or greed to caution, but not fearful yet. Okay? Uncertainty around the supply and prices, increased cost of almost all goods and services, and will the conflict in the Middle East escalate? Insider tip, it won't really, is having a dampening effect on potential buyers. But don't launch the lifeboats just yet. Properties are selling, but they're now going to take a little longer, and buyers are beginning to put the brakes on and taking their time to calculate the true value of a property. Okay. They're not willing to chase prices at the moment. They are setting their limits and sticking to them. I was listening to Mark Boris the other day. Now, he's the fellow that set up the lending group Yellow Brick Road. Now, Mark's been around a fair while and he's worth listening to, even though he's a Roosters supporter. Mark noted that when the RBA raised rates by 0.5% or 2 lots of 0.25% back to back, it diminishes the borrowing power of buyers by about 5%. What does that look like? Now, say you're looking to buy a home worth $600,000. And you might have a $100,000 deposit, so you need to borrow $500,000 to get in the game.
Yep.
If an interest rate rise of 0.5% comes in, it depletes your borrowing power by 5%. So therefore, instead of being able to borrow the $500, you might only be able to borrow the $475, $25,000.
Yep.
Right, it comes off that $500.
The maths is mathing.
We're mathing. So if this applies across the board to most borrowers, because a lot of buyers are borrowers, especially in the budget end of the market, the expectations of sellers may need to adjust to meet the market sentiment and that borrowing capability of buyers.
Okay. Which is not surprising. That's the cyclical.
It is cyclical.
Properties of real estate.
Yeah, I don't know that this will last a long time, but we're certainly plateauing just for the time being. Now, this does not equate to losses for sellers or a complete market correction. It's more an evening up of the playing field, the market taking a breath and reassessing. Price growth, as I said, is stabilising. Realistic pricing and price guides need to be observed for a little while. As a seller, you need to understand when you have the leverage and how to take advantage of it. It all comes down to price expectation versus price reality. Now, that word leverage, I've used it before, so we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
I'm going to give you two scenarios, and I want you to tell me the one where the seller has the leverage or the advantage. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Scenario one. We've got a house for sale at $600,000. After about 5 weeks, scraping around, chasing, looking for buyers, one genuine buyer emerges. One offer. Back and forth negotiations. And they give a best and final offer of that one buyer of $589,000. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Let's go to scenario two. A house for sale at offers from $585,000. After 2 weeks, 3 buyers have submitted best and final offers, and they are $590,000, $595,000 and $607,500. Which of the two sellers has created leverage and likely to get the best deal the market's willing to pay?
Would I be silly for saying two?
Nope. Bang on.
Good.
Number two. Because they met the
I
market.
thought that was a trick question.
No, they met the market, they created competition, and they got the job done in 2 weeks, not 5.
Put me on the spot there.
Drink of water to Studio 2, please. Now, which seller has created that leverage? Yes, it's number two. No matter the state of the market, hot, lukewarm or cold, creating competition is critical by making the perceived value of your property an undeniable option for those buyers who want your type of property in your area in their budget. The sentiments of the property market, that's buyers, can change bang overnight. So having the right agent on board who can see these fluctuations straight away is a huge advantage, rather than waiting weeks of nothingness and acting to meet the market when it's already got away on you. In a nutshell, things are still good, but market behavioural awareness is a vital tool to have in your armoury at this very moment.
Well, there we go. You've put us all in our place if we were wondering what was going on in the real estate sphere.
Yes.
What do we do if we want to know more?
Well, if you want to know exactly what the market's doing today and you're thinking about selling, we provide an effective, hassle-free and affordable way to sell your home for more in a reasonable time that's worked for hundreds of people just like you. So get in touch via our website, ulverstonrealestate.com, our Facebook page, Ulverston Property Sales, and put this one in your phone now. Here's our number, 0400 180 515.
Craig Heppell, thank you for a peek inside. We'll do it again next week.
We will.